So with this, we start our session 3. Let's take a very a simple case study to understand the concept, what we are going to go through it. What you see here right now is one of the streets in India. Okay. And you can see there is a great level of traffic jam is there. Okay. Correct? Am I right? Huge vehicles. Where if you see your Google is on, you will see a red line on your track. Am I right? And maybe a 5-kilometer distance you may travel in 1 hour. So looking at this, if you are one of the rider in one of the vehicles, the natural concept which comes to your mind is that we need broadening of this road, correct? Or we need a flyover on this, okay? Or we need some bypass route to this. So just by sitting in one of the vehicles on this street, a couple of thoughts comes to your mind. At the same time, the Ministry of Public Works or Public Works Department, municipal corporations, they are also aware about it because it has a great impact not only on the individual travelers, it is even impacting more inefficiencies of fuel consumptions, pollutions, and many more things, It's basically burning of energy, resources, efficiency. It's not in the benefit of anybody and polluting the environment. So this situation is not an optimized condition from logistic point of view, from supply chain management point of view. So then the Public Works Department is taking up this task, government is taking up this task to ease out the traffic in this area. So the first concept comes how to ease out immediately. That is one approach. Second approach is, okay, in midterm, next 3 to 4 years time, what could be a solution? And what could be a solution for next 10 years and 15 years? So a problem is seen from different perspectives of timeline. Quick fix, immediate, short-term solution. Let's do it in next 3-4 years, midterm solution. What will be the solution for next 10 years and onwards, 15 years, 20 years? Long scale, long duration, long-term plan. So looking at all these aspects, the studies are done. How many bypass routes are there? Can we divert the traffic? Can we immediately expand? Can we add an extra lane? For example, if you have an emergency lane, which is not visible here, or it is already occupied by the way. If you have an emergency lane, you can open in the peak hours to the normal traffic, for the normal traffic. Then again, at the thin hours of, or the lean and thin hours of traffic, you can definitely restore back the emergency lane. But all these scenarios are giving you, even in the temporary way also, it is giving you a solution for maybe 10%, 15% improvement only. And the most important reason behind it, the concept we have to understand here, that because this problem was existing since long, and this problem was overlooked. And because this problem was overlooked from long duration, since long duration, all the safety margins, all the design margins, all the possible quick fix solutions are already consumed. So this is one of the great lessons learned, that if in project management, if you pull on the problem for long duration, you don't resolve it immediately, which is supposed to be done, then the problems get bigger and bigger. And accordingly, the solution could also become high value solutions. So the point here is, we have to look on the problem as it arises. And now coming back to the question that what are the different solutions are there? Those are called options in project management. And because here, once you select the options, you do their cost evaluation. For example, flyover is one of the options to build over here. Making a bypass route somewhere in the upstream and connecting the downstream for this road. If the land is available, that could be another easy solution. Cost economics need to be checked. And how much solution it is able to provide, that also need to be checked. So looking at all these aspects, evaluation, finally, the city is congested. If you want to have a bypass route, that bypass route will be available after 10 kilometers. Before that, you don't have a bypass for this traffic or a bypass route to this, because the nearest bypass available is after 10 kilometers, which will not support the traffic to and fro movement of the vehicles on this street, because they will not do an extra 20-kilometer reroute for you. They need a quick solution. So finally, it has been concluded that looking at all the possible economic solutions and feasibility solutions, the flyover is the solution. So you have to build the flyover. Once you build the flyover, you get ease out of the things. Okay. So the first concept we started. Now see how we are approaching the project. Okay. What are the stages we pass through in the project? We are going to get the real names of the terminologies as per project management book of knowledge. Okay. PMB. Okay. But right now we are just going with a concept. So we just started thinking on this traffic congestion. So we evaluated the options and we took a decision that flyover is good to go, because flyover is the most optimized solution. Once the decision is taken in favor of flyover, now we start preparing. So for preparation, what we do, we make a design for flyover. What will be the height of the flyover? What will be the design life of the flyover? It will meet next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years requirement, traffic density, correct? Then the resources, manpower, money, correct? Land, correct? What else? Who will do? Contractor, all those things, correct? Resources will plan it out. Then the contract will be awarded. So let's do it. It will be constructed, and once the construction is completed, it will be tested. And once testing is completed, it will be handed over to for the purpose of using it and open for public. So it will ease out the traffics available on this street. Traffic congestion will be mitigated. And you can see now flyovers, multiple flyovers, okay, are ready to resolve the issue. So this was a very basic approach towards a necessity, a requirement. We will see now how subsequently the things comes up. Project management success is built around key components. We will do a walkthrough on it. What are those components? What are the necessities? Correct. So we'll look about it. Correct. So let's have a look on this. You are able to see a diagram on the screen right now. This is one of the most important diagram in project management, because this is the basic building layout of projects. We will be discussing the project life cycle. We are going to discuss project life cycle in the subsequent session, or maybe we can start at the end of this session. Project life cycle means starting the project, organizing and preparing the project, carrying out the work, and completing the project. What we saw, the 4 stages for the building up the flyover. So we'll get into more technical details of these blocks. But right now, what we are going to discuss in our first segment of our session is we are going to discuss on the pre-project work. And what is the pre-project work? Before starting even the project, pre-project work is, first of all, need assessment, whether requirement exists or not. And if it exists, what is the nature of it, correct? Then that need assessment will be evaluated through a business case. Does it have a business case or not? Do you need a business to do this project or not? Then it comes benefit management plan. Benefit management plan, don't worry, we are going to discuss their definitions and their real meaning in detail in subsequent slides. But let's understand the flow right now. Then we are looking from 30,000 feet look right now. Then we'll get into the details of each one of them. So need assessment, if the need assessment is there, it has to pass through the business case scenario. Business case, it will be evaluated independently in collaboration with benefit management plan. And finally, with the amalgamation of these 3 things, a project charter will be developed to start a project. Correct? And finally, there will be a project management plan. So the project charter will be developed to start the project, and project management plan will be developed to run the project through its life cycle. So these are some critical documents are there. Some of them are clearly demarcated as the pre-project work, which are need assessment, business case, and benefit management plan. And once the decision is in favor of taking up a new project, a project charter will be developed, rather it is being developed together, and it gives a go green to start the project. Basically, project charter will be a mandate to start the project, which project owners or the project sponsors will give it to the project manager. And then project manager will develop the project management plan. So this was just the glimpse of this 30,000 feet outlook of this flow chart. Now we'll go with one by one. Project sponsor, I use the word project sponsor, correct? Project sponsor or the project owner is accountable for the development and maintenance of the project business case document throughout the life cycle of the project. Project manager is not owning the business case document. Project business case document is owned by the owner of the project, which is nothing but project sponsor. PM role, project manager role, is to ensure the project management approaches which are followed in companies since long, or maybe followed in the industry, not in your own company, are captured in business document. But again, business case document ownership is with project sponsor. Now we will take up the points starting from need assessment. These are the pre-project work, correct? That's why in the beginning, I gave you the example of flyover so that these terminologies can flow easily and they can be understandable very easily. So what is a need assessment, requirement assessment? What is that? Understanding business goals and objectives, issues and opportunities, and recommending proposal to address them. Very clear by definition. Understanding business goals and objectives, issues, and opportunities, and recommending proposal to address them. Simple and straight. The result of need assessment is summarized in business case document. Why the requirement exists, correct? That need to be discussed in the case of need assessment when we are doing it. And the result of this need assessment need to be summarized in the business case document, which is the first document being developed for establishing that a business possibility exists. And what is the project business case now? Let's understand this. Identify business needs. What is the identification of business need? What is prompting the need for action? What is the reason for this? It should not happen that the requirement is very temporary because of a special carnival is happening on this street. That's why there's a traffic jam over there. And once this carnival is over in a month's time, that density of traffic will reduce by 30% or maybe by 70%. So what is prompting the need for action? Evaluation. That means a traffic jam. Business is a problem or an opportunity? Is it an opportunity? Or there's a problem? During the COVID case, there are two industries which flourished very high. COVID was a problem for the world but this was an opportunity for IT industries and medical health industry. The COVID kind of thing should never come and should never come on the earth. For humanity is not good. But if you look from the business case point of view, to make the life smoother, to make the communication easy and continuously without an interruption, voice communication, data communication, face-to-face solution in place of face-to-face meetings, in-person meeting was required. And accordingly, IT infrastructure was developed across the globe. Medical industry, definitely the human life was at threat. So huge infrastructure, medical consumables, medicines were required across the globe. So this was an opportunity. So at that time, expansion was required for these two industries. So again, I'm going back to the basics, whether this business is a problem or an opportunity. So you are getting, your business is getting a threat. So you should you identify a need. What is the threat? Your competitor is making the better product than you. So your current business is a problem, is having a problem. So you have to work on the problem. You have to improvise your products. You have to improvise your processes. So the business needs is arising from a problem or an opportunity. The business case document is basis to measure success and progress throughout the project life cycle by comparing the results with the objective and the identified success criteria. This is very important. In business case document, we don't only record what is required to be done. We write our success criteria also in the business case document. That means the production should never drop below 70%. Sales are assumed to be minimum 60% average, annual average of the production capacity. So you write down a success criteria. And why 60% sales minimum required? Because if you don't produce, if you don't sell 50% product, or if your plant do not work more than 50%, you don't get even a break even. So you have to build your profit margins, and that profit margin will be coming from business benefit management plan. We'll see which. So that's why success criteria has to be developed and should be kept crystal clear. Success criteria should be the part of your business case document. And the most important thing, you will have to keep checking that still you are meeting the objective or not. What objectives and what goals you have set. Are you meeting them or not? So business case document is an explanation, a life cycle check on what you are doing. And it gives you a mandate to be in the business or to get out of the business or to do more projects, to do more efforts for upcoming opportunities. So the business case document is your advisor to remain in the business as is, withdraw from the business, or to take a big step, take a big jump in the business in future. So business case document is an advisor for the business. Identification of stakeholders. I'm talking of the business case document only. All the stakeholders are identified. Scope is defined. Compliance to organizational strategy, goals, and objectives. Compliance statement. what is required as a compliance, what is defined as a compliance, what are the risks, what are the success factors, what are the decision criteria, and the most important is where we are today, existing capabilities of the organizations. So these are identified clearly in the business case. Next is criteria for analysis, which is very important because you have to keep analyzing your business model throughout the life cycle till the time you are in the business. And this analysis criteria will always give you an opportunity to identify a problem or an opportunity. And the criteria for analysis will be moving around mainly around the three words: required, desired, or optional. So required means required, either to make the problem-free business or to address the opportunity of growth. Desired could be fulfilled to address the problem or opportunity. So this is the case which comes at a lesser priority as compared to required. Third is optional. So it is optional. You want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it right now, still it's okay. And what could be their options? Okay, these are the criteria for analysis. Something is required, something is desired, or some third option is, the third one is the optional criteria. But what could be the business models coming out? What are the business cases will be coming out? So there are again three scenarios, three cases. You don't do anything, keep doing what you're doing, business as usual. Second is do the minimum possible to address the problem opportunity or to be in the business. Third is do more than the minimum. Step out. And you do this because you are addressing a big problem or you are looking for a good growth jump. So always we have three options three options as a solution. Three options to address the solution of a problem or an opportunity. Do nothing, business as usual. Do minimum, just do as much as possible, which is at this point of time sufficient to address the problem and opportunity. But this could not be a long-lasting solution. Do more than the minimum. This will be with the long-term objectives. Means you are trying to approach root cause solutions. Next document which we are discussing is Project Benefit Management Plan. And what does it say? See, without benefits, there is no purpose of doing the business. It's very simple and very straight. That's why a benefit management plan is an independently developed document which is collaborated with business case document. And what is an objective of this benefit management plan document? It clearly indicates how and when benefit of the project will be delivered. When I am getting a break evens, how much, how, when, correct? Benefits I am going to get out of this business. What is my benefit curve during the project life cycle? And next is How to measure the benefit? That's the most important thing. Because there are some benefits which are tangible, clearly visible on your balance sheet. But there will be some benefits which are intangible. Means you got your brand image. Now you are established a brand in the market. But because of over competition in the market, your profit margins have reduced. So at one place, your financial benefits have reduced. But as far as branding is concerned, your turnover has increased. Your profit margin per piece has reduced. Now you are more acceptable in the market. So these are the keys to mechanism to measure the benefits. What this document generally talks about, you will find on internet. If you go, you'll find a couple of modules, how to write these reports and all. That's not big deal. You will get that. Okay. But the most important thing is, before writing a sample document on it, we must understand what are the expectation or what is the purpose of this document, which I'm right now focusing. What this benefit management plan document includes: target benefits, tangible and intangible gains. Clearly defined target benefits, okay? If it is a tangible, there will be a numbers. If there is an intangible will be there, then in that scenario, it's a brand image. It's an acceptance, customer retention ratio, percentage market coverage, financial values, and net present values, which are your tangible, which you keep evaluating throughout the life cycle. Strategic alignment. By doing this business, our business strategies, project benefits align to the business strategy. Business strategy is, I want to be leader one in my region, or I should be among the top 5. I'm ranking right now 100th. But my business objective is, my business strategy is, my business objective is to be among the top 5 in the region. And then I built my strategy accordingly. And to support that business strategy, I execute the projects. Time frame for realizing the benefit, that's very important. I discussed the short-term, long-term, ongoing benefit by phase, correct? Time frame is very important. You are investing the money not to get a benefit after 100 years. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years is more than sufficient. You cannot wait to get a benefit or the net positive or what you call it, your revenues when you start generating after paying the loan. So you start making the profit at the earliest. You cannot wait for the profit for a long duration. Net profit I'm talking. You may be doing profit from the day one, but net profit. Benefits owner, responsible to monitor, record, report, realize benefits, which is project sponsor basically. Assumptions, very important, because when you do a business modeling, benefit modeling, you have a lot of assumptions in your books. So are those assumptions are still valid? Because you will be evaluating those. So assumptions, factors expected to be in place or to be in evidence. And then risk. What are the expected risks? Without risk, no business document is complete. Means you should know what are the risks in your businesses. And you should work for a mitigation plan for that risk. Risk for realization of benefit. Correct? Risk for realization of benefit. Now we will come to the next document, which is project charter and project management plan. And what is a project charter? When business case is established, benefit management plan is established, and they're indicating that this project is worth doing, this business is worth doing, let's do this project because it is going to add a value to our business. It will allow our business to sustain for years to come. Correct? So the project charter is defined as a document issued by project sponsor. This is very important, remember. Owners are issuing this document that formally authorizes the existence of a project. Means now project exists. Okay. The management, the owners, the sponsors have decided to take up this project. So the project exists and provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities. Mandate is given to a project manager through this document. The issuer or the owner of this document is project sponsor, and recipient of this document is project manager. He has been given the broad scope. He has been given the mandate to do the project. He has been given to use organizational resources. When I say organizational resources, it means not only humans, not only the subject matter experts. It includes land, it includes the money, and at the same time, it includes all the human resources available with the organization, and out of which are allocated for the project. Once project manager receives this mandate through project charter, the project manager, along with all the, in collaboration with stakeholders, sponsors, project management team, other stakeholders, the project management plan is developed. And that project management plan document describes how the project will be executed, how it will be monitored, and how it will be controlled. So project management plan is specifically, I'm again repeating, project management plan is specifically developed to meet the expectation laid down in project charter. I'm just taking back the session just one slide before when we were talking of business case and business benefit management plan. So what are the success measures we are talking about? What is the meaning of those success measures we are talking of, correct? So the most common challenges in project management is determining whether a project is successful or not. Okay. So traditionally, normally, the project management matrix of time, cost, scope, and quality have been the most important factor in defining the success. You completed the project within the time, very good. Within the scope, very good. But there was no step out for the scope. What you identified, that was sufficient to meet the project objective. Within the given cost, you did not even spend a single money out of it to complete the project. You did within the budget, allocated budget, and you met the quality which was expected from this project. When I say quality is a big word, what are the deliverables were expected from this project? If this project is able to deliver the same thing what we wanted exactly at the beginning or as defined in project business case, project charter, or in project management plan. And of course, the achievement of the project objective. That is the first one. What was our objective? Our objective was to build up a refinery with this much capacity. So we achieved that objective. Once the refinery started, we could able to meet every day 10,000 barrels of, we are able to process 20,000 barrel, 10,000 barrel, what was the design capacity. I'm able to do that job without any problem. So our project objective is made. I'm meeting what was expected from this project. But I'm taking one step behind. Normally, when we talk of project success, correct? So these three questions need to be, in generally, very famous. And they are asked throughout the life cycle of the project. While preparing, starting from the need assessment till completion of the project. What does success looks like for this project? What is the success of this project? How it looks? Is it only completing the project in time is a success? Or anything more than that? How we will measure our success? So how the success looks? And second question is, how we'll measure our success? And third is, what factors impact the success? What could make a challenge or an impact? It could be positive or negative on our success. So, how we will, these three questions, park them for a while, okay? How to measure the success? Okay, how to measure it? How it looks, we'll talk. First question we'll talk in the next slide. But second question, how to measure it? So we can do measurement of our success. There are some financial measures. Because when you are evaluating the business case, you are discussing, you are evaluating all these financial parameters: net present value, return on investment, internal rate of return, payback period, benefits cost ratio. All these financial parameters are estimated. Till the time project is not in place, these are all simulated numbers, estimated numbers, expected numbers. Say, for example, payback period is 2 years. This was estimated. But when the project has been completed and you could able to achieve payback in less than 2 years. So this is definitely a success. Even if you are able to achieve in 2 years, that's a success. So if it is less than 2 years, you are plus. But at the same time, if the payback period is more than 2 years, correct? Then it is a deferred profit. But in case payback period is in place of 2 years has increased to 2.5 years, correct? But at the same time, in this 2.5 years time, not looking at any financial measure in the blue, I'm coming to non-financial measures. You have successfully able to meet the strategy, goals, and objectives of the company, which is bullet number 3 in non-financial measure, meeting organizational strategy, goals, and objectives. And what was my goal and objective? I wanted to become among the top 5. So even though my payback period has drifted to 2.5 years, but now I have escalated my position from maybe top 100, I was among the top 100, to now top 5. So I gained non-financial measures, I gained. So that's why the success criteria, how success looks, is always a always a question in place. But at the last, the balance should show the positive indications. The product should show sustainability. That's normally a governing criteria in the industry. So you don't want your balance sheet to be in red. At the same time, you want to have a growth curve of your, or sustainable growth of your product in the market. This is a very important statement. It is possible for a project to be successful from a scope, schedule, budget viewpoint, and to be unsuccessful from a business viewpoint. You have completed the project. You have given 1 billion, you completed 1 billion. You have been given to make a refinery, you made a refinery. You have been given a schedule completion for 3 years or 4 years, you completed in 3 or 4 years. So the defined timeline given to you in project charter, you met all those things. Correct? But still, there is a possibility that it could be unsuccessful from business viewpoint, because the value-added product which you are creating out of your refinery is not only petrol and diesel and kerosene you are producing from your aviation turbine fuel you are producing from your refinery. No, we are adding some downstream, some value addition also products we are making. And those value addition products, they were required for the specific purpose. And because they found to be environmentally unfit, the sales of your value added product, which you were thinking 5 years before, has now dropped. They are not acceptable in the market at a larger scale, or they are not acceptable for particularly out of, if they are required for making downstream further 10 type of products, now they are not acceptable for around 3 or 4 products. So your market has shrunk, your buyer market has reduced. So the project could be successful in spite of bringing in time, cost, and schedule, but it becomes unsuccessful from business viewpoint. And when it happens, this can occur when there is a change in business needs or the market environment before the project is completed. Just a question will be coming in your mind at this point of time. For example, suppose if the product demand was reducing, or the environmental agencies were banning this product for particular downstream further another type of products where it will be used as a raw material. So what we were doing? Exactly. The question is absolutely right. And that is where the purpose of business case and the continuous monitoring of success factor of business case, business environment are continuously monitored at every step of the project. And probably it may happen that you start construction of refinery and you get this information that this product is banned for, out of those 10 expected product where it will be used as a raw material, it is banned for 3 or 4 type of product. So at that time, you will take a decision to not to make this value-added product refinery up to the capacity of, say, 100,000 barrels per day. You will take a decision to degrade the capacity, okay? And you may make a capacity of only 30,000 barrels per day. So you reduce your capacity to 30%. And there's nothing wrong in it. Because today you may redesign the system. You may suffer some losses right now, but you are avoiding all the bigger losses in future. So the business case document is dynamic document. The actions are dynamic, real time. Decisions are taken not only as per the success of project, they are taken to continue the project from the business need point of view and market environmental point of view, which are checked time and again in real time mode. So this is the understanding towards the complete business cases of the project management. While entering into the project management, these documents drive us through the whole life cycle of the project, and they allow us to take the right decision in favor of the organization. To avoid either to add a value in other case, if suppose the value product which you are making right now, in place of 10 products, now it is more widely accepted. Now it is required as a raw material for another 20 type of products. So the business viewpoint says there is an opportunity for expansion. So even you can think of expanding your project from the present capacity to another 50% capacity. So the business needs and market environment not necessarily always remain constant for your project completion till the project concept to project completion cycle. It could in between, it is dynamic, market environment is dynamic, business needs are dynamic. It could have no impact, means I said no change in impact. It could have negative impact also when the project is getting completed. At the same time, it has a positive impact also. So we should be ready for all the three scenarios. And this is only possible when we keep monitoring our projects. At every step of a new milestone, we are targeted to move forward. So milestone monitoring, financial monitoring, business reputation monitoring, non-tangible monitoring, they becomes most essential and important for monitoring of the project. With this, we will sum up our session here today.